So talking about the ultimate survival gun, and to me that would be a magnumized version of the Circuit Judge. And the reason being for that is if you step up to the Taurus Raging Judge that has 3-inch chambers for the 3-inch Magnum 410 shot shells, but it's a 6-shooter instead of a 5. It's chambered for 454 Casull. My thoughts on this are the 410 45 Colt Circuit Judge is obviously made around low pressure cartridges. It's very compact, very lightweight, and that's all it's meant to do. Just do the jobs that standard pressure 45 Colt and 410s can do. Now they have a very, very paper thin wall on the cylinders. So that's why when in the last video I was talking about it's actually a very hard cartridge to tune well to make the 45 Colt shoot to its most potential. Because what I've found is, and it's definitely not recommended for the average Joe who's not an experienced hand loader, but what I have found is by going to the fastest powders, and now you're stepping way over the safe, what's meant to be a safe loading limit, is I've found that I'm starting to get some performance back. And when I'm saying performance, I'm talking about pressure, okay? Because if you watch a lot of videos or anybody who's actually used them, they don't actually make a proper bang sound. They make like a bit of a toy, sort of like a pop sort of sound. And that's because the pressure is bleeding off from the 45 Colt being shot into the oversized cylinder of the 3-inch cylinder. So it's bleeding off all its pressure. Then there's a cylinder gap that bleeds off more. Then it goes into a way oversized forcing cone, and it's just bleeding off pressure left, right, and center. So that makes it it makes it basically impossible to make it a very accurate firearm. So stepping into those unsafe, sort of not recommended powder selections, I'm getting somewhere, but I've stopped because it's unsafe. You're in uncharted territories. Okay, so by going to the Raging Judge version, which has got much thicker cylinder walls capable of the 62,000 plus psi capabilities of the 454 Casull, now that would allow you to start stepping up the powder charges with fast burning powder, and then you'd be able to peak your pressures sooner while the pressure, so everything's hotter, everything's happening faster, there's a faster pressure spike, and you'll consume more powder inside the case that'll fling it down and then fling it down, so it'll just become more efficient, and by burning more powder, etc., you're going to get more velocity, and everything will be more efficient. So other reasons: if you've got a 3-inch chamber there, and it's already made to handle 454 Casull loads of 62 plus thousand psi, you could now potentially have that chambered for 460 Smith & Wesson. And then if that was the case, so now you can shoot 2 3/4 inch 410, 3-inch 410, 460 Smith & Wesson, 454 Casull, 45 Colt. Then you got 445 Schofield. Then I think there's another couple of, there might be another cartridge or so in that 45 family. Then if you had, because of the extra meat in the cylinders, now you could have moon clips. You could have moon clips machined into the back. So now you can shoot the whole 45 ACP family. And you could start with and it's strong enough to handle the Rolands. So then you have the 460 Roland, the 45 Auto Magnum or ACP Magnum, whatever it's called. I believe there's a 45 Winchester Magnum, could be the same thing I'm talking about. 450 SMC, 45 Super, 45 Gap, 45 ACP. So, you know, now you're just opening it up to a whole 45 caliber family of cartridges. So, and then, you know, in the 410 gauge, you know, you got buckshot, solid slug, bird shot of all descriptions. Now, on top of that, then you could also go into some, if you really wanted to get excited, is some chamber inserts. Then you could probably shoot up to something along the lines of 357 Magnum, 9mm, 38 Special, all the way down to the 22 if you were using chamber inserts in the revolver, and they'll probably still shoot out the end. But if it was a dead set emergency, you could also fire cartridges probably along the lines of 444 Marlin, potentially a 303 British, 41, 44 Magnums, 41 Magnums. They will all still potentially, because they'll be sitting on the rim will hold them, they will potentially go pop, come out the other end in an emergency. Not recommended, not the best, but if you want a survival gun that can shoot everything, there you go. Now, when it comes down to self-defense and stopping power, etc., to save your life, especially at ranges of under, say, 50 yards, 50 meters, 50 yards. So you got a charging bear coming in. It doesn't matter whether it's an elephant or whatever. A 454 Casull or a 460 Smith & Wesson loaded with hard cast 300, 360, 400 grain projectiles, they're going to truck on through just about anything. Okay, and then if you wanted to use it for a hunting scenario, anything from a hot loaded 45 Colt, again 454 Casull, 460 Smith & Wesson, they will smash anything on the planet. Okay, so of course there's still going to be all the cylinder jump issues and things like that that the standard circuit judge has, so accuracy won't be the best in the world, but it's still a semi-shotgun, semi-rifle, so you do have to make allowances. So we're not after long-range precision, we're not after long-range hunting capability, we're from up close and personal to maybe a maximum of 100 yards, and if you want to survive, you don't want to be standing out in the open anyway. Okay, so if that's what it's all about, survival and blah blah blah, you don't want to be seen. Okay, so you want to be in the woods, in the urban environment, in sewers, etc., and those ranges that's going to keep all the ranges nice and close. So again, within 50 yards, give or take a little bit, I think that would be the absolute ultimate in self-defense or offensive power. It gives you 6 shots of, basically you may as well say an elephant rifle to an extent. 454 Casull and handguns has killed every animal on all of the big game animals on the planet, so out of a carbine it can only do better. So yeah, that's my thoughts. And you know, people say, oh, cylinder gap, you got the gas cutting that will come out of the side of the cylinder gap. Well, it won't take. Taurus has already done a bit of research and development in that department and put like a blast shield on there, so it wouldn't take a lot more research and development to not perfect it, because I think that it's always going to be there, but I've already done experiments where shooting it with the shoulder stock against my shoulder and my left hand under the pistol grip works absolutely perfect. It takes about 30 seconds to adapt. You can swing it around, you can operate the cylinder, you can load double action, single action, doesn't matter, and it just pivots nice. I've even done it with using the sling, wrapping the sling around my hand, pulling nice and tight in there, and it just keeps it locked into the shoulder. It's just training. And like I said, it took me about 30 seconds and I had it down pat. Fired shotgun, fired 45 Colt, and it worked absolutely perfect. So, there you go. The weight of the firearm would increase a little tiny bit, but the usability would go up considerably. Now you've got a whole vast array of different 45 cal cartridges to choose from. That gives you different bullet molds to use, because if you're into hand loading, you can even get cast lead 45 or 458 Winchester Magnum, 4570, etc., and you can size them down maybe 2 stages, and then you've got all those ranges of projectiles as well to use. So you can turn them around backwards. You've got a revolver; it doesn't need to feed out of a magazine or anything. So you could effectively just be shooting wad cutters. So you could get nice heavy 45 cal wad cutters. Boom, boom. They're just going to punch apple cores straight through anything. So with the ability to be able to take out a snake or a small little quarry without totally destroying it, by using your shot shells, number 6 shot or something similar to that. And then I also think that with these new 410 Turkey, what is it called, a TSS or a TTS tungsten loads for the 410, that makes them so much more devastating. So, it's up and up for the 410, and nobody has made this ultimate survival rifle. So I have spoken to a couple of gunsmiths. In Australia, it's a little bit of a nightmare because of changing categories and things like that, but it potentially is doable. I would need to start off with a standard category H, which is a pistol, in 454 Casull, 3-inch Magnum 410, Raging Judge. Then I'd need to change the category, get it turned into, have a fixed barrel on it and a fixed stock, which will take it to change the category to a category B, which is centerfire rifle carbine now. So there's a fair bit of fucking around with all that sort of stuff. It is doable. You also have to, machine the rear of the cylinder to accept moon clips. I'd have to research which moon clips fit the back of the cylinder, etc., etc. So there's a little bit of work to do there, but I think it is doable. Okay, that's my thoughts. Thanks, guys.